last 3 years, readers have eagerly followed the trek across the lost continent, Pantala, alongside a wide cast of dragons. All of these dragons fight for a common goal, to destroy the other mind's sinister plan that wants to control everything and eviscerate free will. There has been a lot of speculation over how this dramatic arc will end, so I thought to summarize the best theories here in the fun format of a 5x5 bingo card that is on screen right now. That's right, 24 theories about the lost continent all in one video. I'm sorry if the thumbnail and the title say 25. 25 is just a much nicer number than 24. It's a nice round quarter. This bingo card, I'll admit it, has some pretty far out theories I will try to justify, but the chances of getting at least one full row is pretty hard. I'll post a bingo card with a spoiler a few days after I read the book, and everyone else can play this too. Feel free to add in your own theories if mine seem too unlikely. Before we get started, if you are new to the channel, please think about subscribing. I regularly post Wings of Fire and Warrior Cats content, so you will never be bored. And to my current subscribers, thank you so much for supporting me. I wouldn't have gotten here without you. Let's get on to the theories. My first prediction is that one ship will sail in this book. Pineapple x Jambu. Pineapple is one of the dragons chosen to be on his self-team Pyria, and not much is known about him. Jambu has already been confirmed to be gay, not that we all didn't know that he was something with a rainbow already. By making Pineapple boyfriends with Jambu, we not only get the first homosexual canon ship to add to all the canon lesbian ones, but we also have a reason to care about Pineapple. As in, we could care less whether he lives or dies right now, but by attaching him to a beloved character, we want him to live so Jambu's happy. The second one, everyone has already made, but that doesn't mean it's bad. All great minds think alike after all. This is the theory commonly referred to as zombie sundew. We've had a lot of build up for it so far. Hawthorne, a leaf speaker of lesser ability, has shown how devastating just having one leaf speaker under control of the other mind could be. However, when it's strongest sundew may end up covering the entire continent with the breath of evil. If sundew ends up coming out of this book other mind free, I will take Tui hard for adding this red herring in. My third theory is pretty obvious, and that's how Moon will react to other minds. Moon is a mind reader alongside being a seer. While she has gotten better at being around large quantity of minds, the other mind functions differently than dragons. Likely, Moon will be able to hear the thoughts of the dragon being controlled and the other mind. However, if she is directly exposed to the other mind's physical center, she'll be able to see the other mind and all the dragons it's controlling. Next, a detail that may be overlooked by some, Sky may have some issues in this book. Being born without fire, he struggles with some worth. Unfortunately, most of this book is likely to take place in a cool, damp cave, as I will explain later. This may possibly lead to uncomfort for Sky, and at the worst hypothermia due to not being able to regulate his temperature. Lastly, Hivewing consequences. I believe that the Hivewings, though they are mind controlled, will not be exempted from any consequences. They were terrible to the Silkwings even when they weren't under control of the other mind. They had a chance to be terrible, and some Hivewings rejected it, like Scarebird Jewel, but others took advantage of the unfair system. See Silverspot's mistress. Given that our protagonist, Luna, is the daughter of Silverspot and a member of the Chrysalis, I doubt that she will let the Hivewings off the hook for their behavior. That's all for B, let's move on to I. At some point in the book, Moon will be mistaken for Clearsight. Even though they look nothing alike, she's more turquoise while Clearsight is purple. She will be the first Nightwing most Pentalians will ever see, so they will be quick to make the assumption that she is their prophet. Her ability to see the future and read minds will not help. This may be an annoyance to her, as she constantly has to explain that she's not a long dead dragon. However, it could be a useful asset. Moon could pretend to be Clearsight to get information from the Pentalians, for example. Next up, I think that there will be a dramatic showdown in this book, Luna and Cricket versus her mind-controlled relatives. I feel like the setup is too good to ignore. Not only will this fight be intense if it included Blue the Flame Silk, but would also have a lot of emotional stakes. How can you defeat the dragons you love without injuring them? Also, two dragons in particular on the team have a dynamic that I feel will be explored upon in this book, according to my theories. Keeply and Omoon have an unrivaled tension, and they low-key became canon in Darkness of Dragons. In this book with both of them together, we'll be able to see more of their dynamic. Another dragon on this team may have an interesting dynamic with another member. This is Tsunami with Moon. Tsunami hates prophecies. One dictated her life for 7 years throughout her childhood, so she's not keen to support them. Realizing she's been playing into another one might cause her to be a tiny bit angry. Last for our I category has to be the most unlikely to come true theory of this list. Bullfrog is actually important! Out of all dragons on this list, Bullfrog and our time are the most unknown to us. There's no reason in them coming to the Lost Continent currently. Tui loves to pull twists, so maybe this is not what it appears like on the surface. Maybe, however, he will turn out to be important, but even I, the king of weird theories, could not figure out how she would place them in the plot. Now we are on N. This column only has 4 theories, as the third one is a free space. First of all, let's take its focus on Scavengers. In the last book we are introduced to 3 of them, one of whom is especially suspicious. One of the Scavengers, called Vol, was described as being almost feral. He had murdered another Scavenger by throwing them into a ravine that the Scavengers live around, and now he wants to throw a dragon into there for some reason. He also asked one of his companions if they can, and I quote, hear the whispers. I think that there is a high chance that this mysterious voice is Othermind. I mean, what else could it be? Parrots? The next one I've been hinting out over all this prediction series, and I feel like it's pretty obvious, however it isn't canon yet, so I will say it out loud. The Othermind is almost certainly in the ravine the Scavengers are gathered around. Why else would their cover be in a cave? After that, another theory connection to Scavengers. This one is incredibly fringe. Scavengers control the Othermind in some form. I don't know why I thought of that. I just thought it would be funny twist for Scavengers to be a true threat for them once. Oasis does not count. Next up, Survivor's Guilt. 3 dragons out of the group are Pantalians, who had to leave their home as their friends' minds were taken over. They would likely feel bad for abandoning their friends to their fates, even if they are coming back to rescue them. And now we are on to G. Let's start off with the Mudwings, the boring tribe. I mentioned that Bullfrog was a weird choice for the Mudwing representative, as we know nothing about him. However, I feel like they may end up being replaced by 2 interesting Mudwings instead. I think that Sora and Umber may be making their return in this book. Tui has wanted them to come back to those 2 for a while, and having them replace another Mudwing who no one knows anything about may be a perfect way to do it. Continuing on, I think Tsunami may be carrying at least one animus object. She has 2 animus siblings, one of whom was just on a journey to Pantala with her. It is likely they would give her a pre-enchanted animus object so she can stay safe during her travels. And let's return to the hole with another theory. I feel like it's pretty much already canon. It's been so obvious. We've seen the ravine where the Othermind is before. It is in the cave where Swordtail, Cricket, Blue hid in the middle of the map. Yes, the only illustrated cave on the map will be the one important in the plot. I must have been a genius to think of that. I've been thinking about the crew too, and I've decided that Keebling and Lynx will have a very entertaining dynamic. Both of them are advisors in some form, and they have a grumpy Icewing friend, and they also like to play around and tease. However, they have a serious side. They would get along very well and absolutely annoy everyone with doing that. Next up, something relating to the prophecy. In there's a line saying a secret hides within their book. Though many believe this to be known already, what it is, as it is the map to Pyria, I feel like Clairsight may have been hiding something else. I think that Clairsight may have known what the Othermind was through the story of the Hive storybook on Pyria. She also may have known that it would try to take over the continent through her visions, and maybe she died trying to stop it from doing that, but only managed to delay it. It's a fringe theory, but it could work. Let's move on to the final column, O. First of all, we've all seen Ravenfall and the other Scavengers before. This only works if they are in the same cave that is in the center of the map, but that's practically already confirmed as I explained earlier. After that, Wasp may have meted an ironic demise. I feel like it would be entertaining to watch all the dragons she controlled turn on her, creating their own type of hive, this time one set on vengeance. Or maybe the Othermind gets fed up with her being so inactive and not really helping much in their plans of conquering the world, so the Othermind kills her. A larger theory I have is that the Othermind needs a host. This is why I was asking for a dragon to be sacrificed. A human had been thrown into the ravine before by Vol, but dragons are sturdier than humans that have been thrown down there. And they also may have powers, like Sundew. Dragons could also fly, meaning that it could transport the Othermind seeds to other continents. I feel like Sky and Peril will reunite in the epilogue at some point in the book. Fans have been itching to see this moment for a while, so Tui might indulge us. Sky is also a member of the fighting crew, something Pearl may have wanted to join as she loves fighting things, so she may be there to watch them return. And my last and final theory, a major character will die in this book. Tui so far has been merciful when it comes to character death. None of our main POV characters have died besides the Darkstalker Legends trio, but at this point in the series, I feel like death might make itself a tiny bit more known. One dragon in particular who I feel will die is Tsunami. We've known her the longest out of all the Pantala Stealth crew and of all dragons in general, and she is one of the most beloved dragons in the fandom. I hope she doesn't die, but if she does, it better be an epic death. Those are 24 of my theories. Which ones do you think are probable? Do you have any theories of your own? Comment all that down below. If you like this video, feel free to subscribe. I make Wings of Fire and Warrior Cats videos pretty often, and your support would mean a lot to me. And to those already subscribed, thank you for continuing to support. I wouldn't have gotten here without y'all. Thank everyone. Rogan out.